Sarah Chen was just 17 years old when she sent her final message to Earth. It started like any other day on Colony Station Delta, with a young research assistant going about her work in the xenobiology lab. The security cameras showed her normal morning routine. She checked on her experiments, logged her data, and smiled at the other scientists. But something was different today. Her hands shook slightly as she typed at her computer terminal. The station's data logs recorded her downloading files at 8:47 hours. By 900, she had locked herself in the communications room. That's when she began her last transmission to Earth. The video feed showed a young girl with determined eyes. Her long black hair was tied back in a neat ponytail, and she wore the standard white lab coat of the science division. The Empire's logo was still visible on her shoulder patch. To whoever receives this on Earth, my name is Sarah Chen. What I'm about to share will put me in danger, but everyone needs to know the truth. Her voice was steady despite her fear. She held up a data crystal. Yesterday, I found something in the Empire's restricted files. They've been lying to us for years. The peace treaty was just a trick. They're planning to. A loud bang interrupted her words. Metal groaned as someone tried to force open the sealed doors. I don't have much time. Sarah's words came faster now. The files are in data packet 374B. They're killing us slowly, one colony at a time. They make it look like accidents, but... Another crash. The doors began to glow red from cutting torches. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. Tears filled her eyes, but she brushed them away. But I had to do this. Someone had to tell the truth. The doors burst open. Empire troops in black armor stormed in, weapons raised. People of Earth, wake up. The Empire is not our friend. The video feed cut to static. 3 days later, the Empire sent their official report to Earth. They called it a tragic accident. They said Sarah Chen died when she accidentally mixed volatile chemicals in the lab. They sent their deepest condolences to her family. But deep beneath the Earth's surface, in a bunker forgotten by most, something ancient stirred to life. Computers that had slept for 100 years began to hum. Lights flickered on in massive underground chambers. Admiral James Chen watched the video of his daughter one more time. His weathered face showed no emotion, but his hands gripped the edge of the control panel until his knuckles turned white. Next to him, General Santos read the treaty violation report. The Empire broke their word, Jim. They killed a civilian, a child. My child. Admiral Chen's voice was quiet. My daughter discovered their plan, and they murdered her for it. He pressed a button, and the bunker's main screen lit up. It showed hundreds of massive shapes hidden in underground hangars. Ships, warships, built in secret and waiting for this very day. Send the wake-up call, Admiral Chen ordered. Activate all sleeper bases. The Empire thought we were weak, that we trusted them completely. His eyes hardened. They forgot that humans learn from history. We always prepare for betrayal. General Santos nodded and began typing commands. What should I tell the old crews? Admiral Chen looked one last time at Sarah's frozen image on the screen. She had been so brave, so determined to do the right thing, just like her mother. Tell them that the Empire broke the peace treaty. Tell them that they killed my daughter. And tell them, he paused, his voice growing cold. Tell them it's time to show the galaxy why the ancient races feared humanity before the Empire came. Deep in the hidden bases, lights began to flash. Sirens woke sleeping crews, and in the darkness of Earth's moon, metal giants that had waited a century for this moment began to power up their engines. The Empire had made a terrible mistake. They thought they were dealing with simple scientists and colonists. They didn't know about the fleet. They didn't know about the weapons. And they didn't know that humans had planned for this betrayal for 100 years. Sarah Chen's death would not go unanswered. The Empire was about to learn why you should never underestimate humanity. The war had begun. The moon had kept humanity's secret for over 100 years. Behind its cratered surface, deep within artificially carved caverns that stretched for miles, the greatest fleet ever built by human hands waited in silence. Not even the Empire's most advanced scanners had detected them. The ships appeared as nothing more than mineral deposits on their surveys. Lieutenant Maya Patel stood in awe as the massive hangar lights activated one by one, revealing the true scale of humanity's hidden power. Each warship was a titan of black metal and gleaming weapons, their hulls marked with the old United Earth insignia, a symbol that hadn't been seen in public since the Empire's peaceful arrival. "Impressive, isn't it?" a deep voice echoed behind her. Admiral Chen stepped up beside her, his eyes reflecting the gleaming ships. "Project Sentinel, started by our great-grandparents the day after we signed that peace treaty." Maya turned to him, struggling to find words. "Sir, I had no idea. We all thought the moon was just mining colonies." "That's what we wanted everyone to think." The Admiral's face hardened, even the Empire's spies. "While they watched our public shipyards building simple transport vessels, we were down here, preparing for the day they would show their true colors." A young technician ran up to them, tablet in hand. "Admiral, Empire representatives are demanding to speak with Earth's Council. They say they've detected unauthorized power signatures from the moon." "Of course they have." Admiral Chen smiled grimly. "Activate the main view screen. Let's hear what they have to say." The hangar's massive display flickered to life, showing the stern face of Empire Ambassador Sarlacc. His purple skin seemed to darken with rage when he saw Admiral Chen. "What is the meaning of this?" The ambassador's translator crackled. "Our sensors detect military-grade power signatures from your moon. This violates Section 7 of the Peace Treaty." "Like murdering my daughter violated Section 3, Admiral Chen's voice cut through the alien's words like a blade. "The death of researcher Chen was a tragic accident." "Was it?" Maya stepped forward, holding up a data tablet. "Sir, we've decoded more of Sarah's files." She found evidence of 23 other accidents at Empire research stations, all human victims, all after they accessed restricted databases. The ambassador's face twitched. "These accusations are true." Admiral Chen pressed a button, and screens around the hangar lit up with images. "Sarah wasn't just brave, Ambassador. She was brilliant. She created a virus that copied every file she accessed. When your troops murdered her, it activated and sent everything to us." In the background, massive engines began to power up. The first of the hidden fleet was awakening. "The Empire has 1 hour to withdraw all forces from human colonies," Admiral Chen declared. "After that, we will show you exactly what these unauthorized power signatures can do." "This is madness," the ambassador sputtered. "You have no idea the Empire's true military might. Your hidden fleet, impressive as it may be, cannot stand against." "Oh, this isn't our fleet." Maya smiled, pressing another button. The camera view widened, revealing not dozens, but thousands of warships stretching into the darkness. "This is just the moon's better sight. Would you like to see what we have hidden on Mars?" The ambassador's face paled to a lighter shade of purple. 1 hour, Admiral Chen repeated. "And Ambassador, the next time you kill a human child, remember this moment. Remember when you learned that we were never as helpless as we pretended to be." As the screen went dark, Maya turned to the Admiral. "Sir, Beta Site is our largest facility. We don't have. The Empire doesn't know that." He smiled slightly. "And they'll be so busy scanning Mars for non-existent ships, they won't notice Alpha Site's fleet launching from Europa." Throughout the hangar, crews ran to their stations, ships that had waited a century hummed with power. On the main screen, a countdown appeared, 59:59, 59:58. The Empire had 1 hour to prevent a war, but Admiral Chen knew they would never back down. Their pride wouldn't allow it. And that's exactly what humanity was counting on. In her quarters, Maya opened Sarah's last decoded file. Her eyes widened as she read. "Sir," she called out, "there's something else, something bigger." Sarah found out why the Empire really came to Earth. The countdown continued as humanity prepared for a war that would reveal secrets both sides had kept hidden for 100 years. The Empire's border station Nexus 7 was considered impregnable. Its shields had never been breached. Its weapons could destroy any ship in known space. For 50 years, it had stood as a symbol of Empire power. It fell in less than 6 minutes. "Hit them again," Maya ordered from the bridge of the UES Vengeance. "Target their auxiliary power cores." The Hidden Fleet's first strike had caught the Empire completely off guard. Their mighty station's shields flickered and died as weapons the Empire had never seen before tore through their defenses like paper. From his flagship, Admiral Chen watched the battle with grim satisfaction. Status report. "Their main weapons are offline," Maya reported. "No casualties on our side. The Empire's reinforcements are still 20 minutes out." She paused, checking another screen. "Sir, we're detecting life pods launching from the station." "Let them go," Chen ordered. "I want survivors to tell the Empire exactly what happened here. Lieutenant, begin Phase 2. Maya nodded and pressed a button on her command chair. Throughout the fleet, hidden panels on each ship's hull slid open, revealing rows of strange devices that began to pulse with blue light. On the Empire Station's bridge, the few remaining officers watched in horror as their quantum communications network, the fastest in known space, suddenly went dark. The devices on the human ships had created a dead zone that cut off all Empire faster-than-light communications. "Sir," a young ensign on the Vengeance called out, "we've breached their main computer core. Sarah's decryption codes work perfectly." His voice caught slightly. Even in death, the Admiral's daughter was helping them fight. Data streamed across the bridge's screens. Secret Empire communications, classified research files, and most importantly, records of other human colonists who had accidentally died after discovering too much. "They didn't just kill Sarah," Maya whispered, reading the files. "They've been systematically eliminating anyone who showed too much intelligence, too much curiosity. They feared we would discover." Her eyes widened. "Sir, you need to see this." Before she could explain, proximity alarms blared. The Empire reinforcements had arrived early, 3 massive dreadnoughts and their escort fleet. But Admiral Chen was smiling. "You're wondering why I'm not worried, Lieutenant," he asked Maya. "Watch this. Activate the Lazarus Protocol." Maya entered the command. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then space itself appeared to crack. The Empire ships suddenly found themselves surrounded by a new fleet, smaller ships that had been there the whole time, hidden by technology that bent light around them. Technology that humanity had developed in secret over a century of preparation. Impossible. The Empire commander's transmission crackled across the command channel. "Your people don't have cloaking technology." "No," Chen agreed. "The Empire thinks we don't have cloaking technology, just like you thought we didn't have quantum disruptors, or dark matter torpedoes, or any of the other weapons we developed or pretending to be your peaceful servants." The hidden ships opened fire. Their weapons were different from the larger vessels, designed for speed and precision rather than raw power. The Empire fleet, caught in a perfect crossfire, began to break apart. But in the midst of the battle, Maya made another discovery in the captured data, something that made her blood run cold. "Admiral," she called out. "Sarah found out the real reason the Empire came to Earth. They're not just afraid of our potential. They're afraid because," she swallowed hard, "because we're not the first humans they've encountered." The battle raged on as humanity's hidden fleet demonstrated just how dangerous a species could become when given a century to prepare for war. But Maya's discovery suggested this was just the beginning. Somewhere out there, another humanity waited, and the Empire's greatest fear was that Earth's humans might find them. The war for humanity's future had begun, but it was quickly becoming clear that this was also a war for humanity's past, and the terrible truth about why the Empire had really come to Earth all those years ago. On her screen, Maya pulled up an Empire star chart marked with a simple label: Quarantine Zone, Original Human Sector. The real question wasn't just why the Empire had killed Sarah Chen. The question was, what happened to the first humans the Empire found? The hologram flickered in the center of the Vengeance's war room. It showed Sarah Chen's last discovery, a star map older than the Empire itself. A map that changed everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the galaxy. "Play it again," Admiral Chen ordered, his voice tight with tension. The recording was damaged, recovered from the depths of the Empire's most classified files. The ancient recording sprang to life, showing a human woman in a uniform no one recognized. Behind her, stars burned in unfamiliar patterns. "This is Admiral Helena Drake of the First Human Empire." The woman's voice echoed through time. "The entity has breached our last defenses. New Earth has fallen. To any humans who find this, do not trust them. They are not what they appear to be. The Empire is not." The recording cut off in static. Maya studied the date stamp. "This recording is from over 500 years ago, sir. Long before the Empire supposedly discovered Earth. Which means everything they told us was a lie." Chen's fist tightened. But why? Why pretend they'd never met humans before? Before Maya could answer, emergency alarms blared through the ship. On the main screen, a message flashed from Earth's Defense Command: "Traitor DTTTD, Empire Sleeper Agent Activated." Security footage showed chaos in Earth's main government complex. Council Chairman Xavier Blake, humanity's highest-ranking civilian leader, had just murdered 3 guards and was trying to transmit data to an Empire communication array. How deep does their infiltration go? Maya wondered aloud. "Deep enough," a new voice answered. Everyone turned to see a young maintenance worker standing in the doorway, holding a strange device. But not deep enough. The worker's face seemed to shimmer and change, revealing familiar features that made Admiral Chen's heart stop. "Sarah," his daughter smiled sadly. "Not exactly. I'm a quantum echo, an AI duplicate she created before she died. The real Sarah knew they were coming for her, so she downloaded a copy of her consciousness into the Empire's network." The AI Sarah walked forward, her form flickering slightly. "I've been gathering data, hiding in their systems, and I found out the truth." She connected her device to the ship's computer. The entity that destroyed the First Human Empire, it never went away. It just evolved. New images filled the screens, horrifying footage of the entity consuming entire worlds, transforming alien species into something else. Something that looked exactly like. "The Empire isn't a civilization," Sarah explained. "It's a mask, a disguise. The entity learned it couldn't just devour worlds anymore. Other species would unite against it, so it became more subtle. It infiltrates, corrupts, and slowly transforms civilizations from within." Admiral Chen stared at the footage. "And Earth, what do they want with us?" "They want our potential." Sarah's image flickered again. "Humans have something no other species does, the ability to adapt incredibly fast. The entity wants to understand how we do it, so they can perfect their own transformations. That's why they've been killing anyone who shows too much creative thinking or curiosity. They're trying to keep us docile while they study us." Suddenly, the ship shook. On the tactical display, hundreds of Empire ships appeared, dropping out of faster-than-light travel. "The largest Empire fleet ever assembled," Maya reported. "They must have realized we know the truth." But Admiral Chen was smiling. "No," he said. "They've just made their final mistake." He turned to the AI version of his daughter. "Sarah, show them what else we've been hiding." Sarah nodded and sent a signal. Throughout the solar system, asteroids that weren't really asteroids began to move. Forgotten moons cracked open, revealing vast shipyards, and in the coldest reaches of the Kuiper Belt, humanity's greatest secret stirred to life. The entity destroyed the first human empire, Chen said quietly. So we built something bigger. The tactical display lit up with thousands of new signals as humanity's full fleet revealed itself. Not just warships, but planet crackers, star forges, and weapons that could rewrite the laws of physics themselves. A century of preparation, Asara said proudly. While they thought we were just a primitive civilization, we were building the means to destroy them completely. The entity's fleet attacked, dropping its disguise at last. Their ships morphed into organic mechanical horrors that had haunted humanity's nightmares for 5 centuries. But this time, humanity was ready. As the greatest space battle in history began, Maya looked at the quantum echo of the brave girl who had sacrificed everything to expose the truth. What happens now? Isara's eyes gleamed with determination. Now we wake up the rest of humanity. There are more of us out there, hidden colonies that escaped the First Empire's fall, and once we're united again. She didn't need to finish. Everyone knew. The entity was about to learn that humanity hadn't spent the last 500 years just hiding. They'd spent it preparing for revenge. The battle that would decide humanity's future began in silence. In the void of space, thousands of ships faced each other across the solar system. On one side, the entity's forces had shed their empire disguise, their ships now writhing masses of biomechanical horror. On the other, humanity's hidden fleet stood ready, a century of preparation about to be put to the ultimate test. Their changing formation, Maya reported from the Vengeance's tactical station. The entity's ships, they're merging together. They watched in horrified fascination as hundreds of entity vessels flowed into each other like liquid metal, forming massive organic battleships that dwarfed anything humanity had ever built. Isara's hologram flickered beside Admiral Chen, the entity's true form. This is how they destroyed the first human empire. But we're not the first human empire, Chen replied calmly. Sarah, initiate Protocol Prometheus. The quantum echo of his daughter smiled and sent the command. Throughout the human fleet, hidden systems activated. Each ship began pulsing with a strange golden light. 5 centuries ago, the entity consumed worlds, Sarah explained as the light grew brighter. But they weren't the only ones who learned to adapt. Humanity had a secret weapon even then, our dreams. The golden light suddenly shot between all human ships, forming a vast neural network. Every crew member felt their minds connect, not in the invasive way the entity merged consciousness, but in a uniquely human way, through shared imagination, creativity, and determination. The entity absorbs technology and biology. Maya gasped as she felt the connection form, but it never understood the power of the human mind. The battle began. The entity's massive ships launched their first attack, beams of corrupting energy that could transform matter itself. But the human fleet, now moving with one shared consciousness, danced through the attacks in impossible patterns. Their maneuvers weren't based on physics or computer calculations, but on the shared dreams and instincts of thousands of human minds working as one. Now, Chen ordered, show them what humanity can really do. The human fleet's response was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Ships moved in formations based on Earth's ancient martial arts. Weapons fired in patterns inspired by music. Strategy shifted like poetry in motion. The entity, for the first time in its ancient existence, faced something it couldn't predict or consume, pure human creativity unleashed. But the entity was ancient and powerful. It began adapting, learning, trying to consume the patterns it observed. Its ships grew new weapons, copied human tactics. It's working, Maya called out. They're falling into the trap. Because this was humanity's true strategy. Every tactic they showed, every pattern they demonstrated, was carefully crafted to lead the entity in one direction. Like a master martial artist using an opponent's strength against them, humanity was letting the entity think it was learning, adapting, winning. Until the trap was ready. "Sarah," Admiral Chen said softly, "show them your last gift to humanity." High Sarah's hologram raised her hand. Throughout the entity's fleet, their ships began to shake. The biological components of their vessels started to break down at the molecular level. "My original found the entity's genetic code," Sarah explained. "In her last moments, she created a virus. Not a computer virus or a biological virus, but something new. A virus that attacks the point where biology and technology merge. The entity's greatest strength became its greatest weakness. The entity's ships began to dissolve. Their carefully absorbed adaptations, their stolen biological components, all of it turned against them by the final creation of a brave young scientist who saw the truth. But the entity had one last card to play. A massive portal opened behind their fleet. Through it came their ultimate weapon, a ship larger than worlds, built from the consumed remains of the first human empire's capital. That's why they really came to Earth, Sarah said quietly. They needed more human bodies and minds to power that thing, to complete their ultimate weapon. The massive ship began to move forward, its surface crawling with the tortured forms of ancient humans, trapped between life and death for centuries. Admiral Chen stood up. "Then let's free them." Maya felt tears in her eyes as the neural network showed her the plan. It was beautiful. It was terrible. It was perfectly human. Every ship in the human fleet began to glow brighter. The golden light of their connected consciousness grew until it rivaled the sun. They weren't just connected anymore. They were creating something new. Something that would either save humanity or end it forever. The entity was about to learn the most dangerous thing about humans. When we dream together, we can change reality itself. The light grew brighter. The final phase of the battle was about to begin. The golden light from humanity's fleet suddenly pulsed with a frequency that seemed to bend reality itself. As it reached its peak, something impossible happened. The void answered. From the darkest spaces between stars, ancient ships began to emerge. They were unlike anything human or entity, vessels that seemed to be made of living crystal, pulsing with colors that human eyes had never seen before. "The Luminoth," Sarah whispered in awe. "They're real." Admiral Chen nodded. "The first human empire's greatest allies. We thought they were destroyed by the entity. Instead, they were waiting, watching, testing us." The crystalline ships moved with impossible grace, their surfaces reflecting the golden light of humanity's neural network. As they approached, a new consciousness touched the human fleet's shared mind, ancient, vast, and filled with sorrow. "Children of Earth," a voice echoed in every human mind. "We have waited 5 centuries to be sure, to know that humanity had learned from its past mistakes." Maya's console lit up with new data as the Luminoth ships integrated with their network. Images flashed through her mind, the truth about the first human empire's fall. "We were proud," the Luminoth voice continued. "Too proud. We gave humanity advanced technology before they were ready. When the entity came, the images showed the devastating truth. The first human empire had fallen not just because of the entity's power, but because they had relied too much on borrowed technology they didn't fully understand. But you," the voice held pride now. "You built everything yourselves. Hidden in darkness, you created your own path. And most importantly, you learned to unite your minds without losing your individuality." The entity's world ship tried to attack the Luminoth vessels. Its weapons passed harmlessly through them, as if they weren't fully in this reality. Sarah's hologram brightened. "The quantum frequency, that's how they survived. They've been slightly out of phase with our reality since the entity's first attack." "Indeed, young one." The Luminoth voice held approval. "And now we bring you a gift. The collected knowledge of every species the entity has ever consumed, including..." A new signal reached the Vengeance. From its quantum pattern, Maya realized what it was even before the data resolved. "The original Sarah," she breathed. They saved her consciousness at the moment of her death. Admiral Chen's hands trembled as a new hologram formed beside her quantum echo, his daughter, exactly as she had been, her mind preserved by technology beyond human understanding. "Dad," both Saras said together, "we have a way to end this, forever." The entity's world ship was changing, trying to adapt to the Luminov presence, but it had made a fatal mistake. In trying to consume and understand Luminov technology over the centuries, it had absorbed the very frequency that made them special. "The entity tried to become like us," the Luminov voice explained, "and in doing so, it made itself vulnerable to this." The combined human and Luminov fleets began to pulse with a new kind of energy. The neural network shifted, incorporating Luminov consciousness in a way that amplified human creativity to impossible levels. Reality itself began to crack around the entity's fleet. "They consumed worlds," Admiral Chen said quietly. "Absorbed civilizations, destroyed everything they touched. But they never understood the most important truth about humanity." Maya felt the plan unfold in her mind through the neural network. It was beautiful. It was terrible. It was justice. "The truth," Sara's restored consciousness said, "is that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, or our adaptability, or even our creativity. It's our ability to learn from our mistakes," her quantum echo finished. The Luminov ships moved into formation with the human fleet. The entity's world ship, its surface still crawling with the tortured forms of ancient humans, tried to escape. But after 500 years, there would be no escape. Only reckoning. As the final phase began, Maya understood why the entity had really feared humanity all along, not because of what we could become, but because of what we already were. The combined fleet powered up their weapons. The entity was about to learn why you should never give humans 5 centuries to plan their revenge. The final battle for humanity's soul began with a single command, spoken simultaneously by both versions of Sara Chen and echoed through the combined neural network of human and Luminov consciousness. "Remember." The entity's world ship twisted in space as billions of memories hit it at once. Not just human memories, but the collected experiences of every species it had ever consumed. 5 centuries of stolen lives cried out at once through the neural network. "We were wrong about the entity's weakness," Sara's original consciousness explained, her hologram glowing with newfound power. "It wasn't just the merger of biology and technology. It was the weight of all those absorbed memories." Her quantum echo nodded. It kept the memories suppressed, trapped. But now, the massive world ship's surface began to crack. Light poured from the fissures, not the sickly glow of entity corruption, but the pure radiance of billions of freed consciousnesses. "My daughter," Admiral Chen whispered, watching both versions of Sara direct the assault. "My brilliant, brave girl, you planned this all along." Maya's tactical display showed impossible readings as reality itself buckled around them. The Luminov ships channeled power through the human fleet, amplifying the neural network beyond anything thought possible. "The entity consumed worlds," the Luminov voice echoed. "But it never understood that memories aren't just data. They're alive, they're power." Inside the entity's world ship, something beautiful and terrible was happening. The trapped souls of the first human empire were awakening. 5 centuries of suppressed humanity burst forth in a wave of pure consciousness. But the entity fought back. Its surface rippled, trying to adapt, to consume, to transform. It had devoured galaxies. It would not be defeated by memories. That's when Sara's final plan activated. "Now, Maya," both Saras called out. "The quantum key." Maya pressed her hand to the console. Through the neural network, every human in the fleet did the same. The Luminov consciousness merged with them, creating something entirely new, a bridge between realities. The entity had built its world ship from the remains of the first human empire's capital. Now those remains remembered what they once were. what all of the entity's absorbed victims once were. Reality cracked open. Through the quantum bridge created by merged human and Luminov consciousness, trillions of suppressed souls began to escape. The entity's greatest weapon became its prison, as 5 centuries of consumed life forms fought their way back to existence. But where will they go? Maya asked, watching the impossible exodus. The Luminov ships pulsed with new colors. We have prepared for this moment for 500 years. We built them new homes in realities the entity cannot reach, places where they can live again, free from fear. The entity's world ship was collapsing in on itself, its very substance being unmade by the escape of its victims. But in its core, a concentrated mass of pure entity consciousness remained, the original being that had started all this countless eons ago. Sarah, Admiral Chen said softly, "Both of you, do it." Both versions of Sarah Chen, the preserved original and her quantum echo, merged into a single point of light. Through them, the combined human Luminov neural network focused on the entity's core, not to destroy it, to change it. 5 centuries ago, you proved humanity wasn't ready for advanced technology. Sarah's merged consciousness spoke to the entity. Now we prove what humanity has become. We don't need to destroy you. We choose to transform you. The entity's core writhed as human creativity and Luminov wisdom reshaped it, forcing it to experience every memory, every life, every moment of joy and pain it had stolen. Not as a consumer, but as a witness, as a student, as something that could learn. When it was over, where the entity's core had been, something new floated in space, a small crystal that pulsed with understanding. The birth of a new consciousness, one that would take eons to develop, guided by both humanity and the Luminov. A chance for redemption. The war was over, but humanity's story was just beginning. What now? Maya asked, watching the crystal being carefully contained in a Luminov vessel. Admiral Chen looked at the single glowing form that was now his daughter. Both versions merged into something gloriously new. Now we rebuild. We find our lost colonies. We help restore the species that were trapped. And we remember. Remember what? Maya asked. Sarah's merged consciousness smiled. That humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons, or our technology, or even our ability to adapt. The Luminov ships pulsed in agreement as the combined fleet prepared to help the freed souls find their new homes. Our greatest strength, Sarah finished, is our ability to choose mercy over vengeance, to transform rather than destroy, to learn from the past while building a better future. The crystal pulsed softly in its containment field, beginning its long journey toward redemption. And throughout the galaxy, a message spread from world to world, carried by the freed souls of 1 trillion species. Humanity has returned. And this time, we're ready. The end.